What up, everyone? Today I'm going to be talking to you guys about James Edward Harden Jr. Alright, so Harden has basically been one of the most prolific scorers in NBA history. He's garnered so much attention for his offensive weapons that the likes of Charles Barkley has said Harden is basically the most gifted offensive talent he's ever laid his eyes on. Some people may agree, some people may disagree.
And listen, I've said this before. When y'all look at me like I was crazy, James Harden is the greatest offensive player we've ever had in the NBA. His ability to shoot the threes, drive, make contacts, he's the best offensive player we've ever had in the NBA. That being said, I am not going to stand around like no damn idiot and watch him dribble the whole time and play with him. That would be no fun. I'd go over there and say, Coach, please trade me.
But now, Harden, like many unhappy superstars, wants to move on from the Houston Rockets. So, do we all remember how we got here? After spending a couple years in OKC, playing off the bench behind All-Stars Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook, the GM of the Thunder, Sam Presti, inexplicably, and I'm saying inexplicably, according to James Harden, gave him a few hours on whether to decide the fate of his future with the Oklahoma City Thunder, to whether to accept that extension offer on the table. And it was a couple million short of what James Harden was looking for. And lo and behold, James Harden did not get back to Sam Presti on time. After that, he was immediately traded to the Rockets for Kevin Martin and picks. I don't even remember the rest of the deal. That's how crazy this deal was. Kevin Martin and draft picks. Yeah, it was that bad. I vividly remember James Harden. This dude would give work to Kobe. Whenever you'd come off the bench and they'd play the Lakers, he would seriously give work to Kobe. And I'm a huge Kobe fan. And I would just always remember that. And he'd talk all this mess to Kobe. He would not back down. This is when I realized that James Harden was a future star, an all-star sitting right there on the bench of the Oklahoma City Thunder. And hardly anyone knew, except one GM. Maybe other GMs knew, but there was one GM who put together a package to acquire James Harden, and that was Daryl Morey, the revolutionary, one of the greatest GMs and general managers in the NBA. The guy has changed the NBA forever, and this pairing was amazing. When Harden got to the Houston Rockets, the guy hit the ground running. So much so, his first game, he posted 37 points, 12 rebounds, and 4 steals, giving birth to the James Harden era in Houston. Undoubtedly, it was Harden. He was the most gifted, talented, best player they've had since Tracy McGrady and Yao Ming. Houston was gifted a franchise player. What followed after this trade were a sequence of playoff failures, scoring titles, an MVP, fractured relationships with Dwight Howard, Chris Paul, and a 0 for 27 3-point streak by the Rockets. Zero. It baffled mathematicians and statisticians everywhere. It baffled them. It was impossible for that to happen. And yet it did. That's how lucky the Warriors were in that run, that the Houston Rockets had to go 0 for 27 for the Warriors to win versus that team. That team was supposed to win a title. CP3 and James Harden, they were built to defeat the Warriors. Daryl Morey built that team to defeat the Warriors when all other teams decided to fold. When they got Kevin Durant, they all folded. The only team who said maybe we could beat them is Daryl Morey. It was Daryl Morey, Chris Paul, and James Harden. They banded together and created a team that was built to beat the Warriors. And by pure luck, 0 for 27 from 3. How does that happen? It doesn't. It's insanity. So let's circle back here, okay? Let's circle back to that Charles Barkley clip.
NBA. That being said, I am not going to stand around like no damn idiot and watch him dribble the whole time and play with him. That would be no fun. I'd go over there and say, Coach, please trade me.
You hear that last part? How it's not fun standing around? I'm betting most NBA players feel that way. The style of which Harden gets his points, it's highly important the way he gets his points. He's not the type of player who runs off screens like Steph Curry or LeBron, distributing and involving all his teammates, keeping them happy. No, he pounds the ball, and I mean he pounds it. He pounds the ball. There's a joke somewhere in there. And so much so, the high usage king himself, Russell Westbrook, decided that he could not take it anymore for one season and requested a trade. He said, I had it. They're best buddies, they're good friends, but no, he can't deal with James Harden pounding the ball. It's too much. Russell Westbrook was like, let me pound the ball in Washington. And now here we are. Harden having declined $50 million from Tillman Fertitta. Tillman Fertitta, a penny pincher owner, offering $50 million to James Harden. He declines it. I have no qualms about James Harden and declining $50 million. The guy is very rich. He's made a lot of money from his contracts, from Adidas, from endorsements. I get it. I get why Harden doesn't want to play for Tillman. Daryl left. Mike D'Antoni left. What's left? A team with Christian Wood, John Wall, who hasn't played a game in 3 years. The guy wants to team up with his buddies, Kyrie and KD. I get it. Who wouldn't? But I have one thought on that, James Harden. It ain't happening. Are we just supposed to think Rafael Stone and the Rockets front office is that stupid? That stupid, really? That they're just gonna give up James Harden for who? Like picks that are gonna be worthless? Dinwiddie? Karis LeVert? Allen? No one in their right mind would accept that deal. It's not happening. You gotta go somewhere else, James Harden. You gotta go somewhere else. This narrative that ESPN is feeding us that, oh yeah, maybe a deal could happen with the Nets. It's all clickbait. I get it. But the Rockets saying they have no leverage? Actually, they have a lot of leverage. It's called 3 more seasons under contract. That's their leverage. That's all you need. James Harden is under contract for 3 more seasons. And in all honesty, the only teams right now that I can see Harden going to are either the Miami Heat or the 76ers. The Sixers can offer Ben Simmons straight up. Simmons, he has more years left on his deal. Makes that deal really valuable. Ben Simmons is a franchise player. The Miami Heat, they can offer Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson, and some picks. I would do it if I was Pat Riley. But who knows? James Harden is a once-in-a-generational player. Offensive player. And you got to give up players like Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson to get him. But would it entice the Rockets? Maybe. Hero, his defense needs work. He's a young player, but it meets the criteria of the Rockets. Duncan Robinson, he's no slouch either. He can shoot lights out. And he was probably the best shooter last season. And when it comes to that Sixers deal, that's all you offer if you're the Sixers. Ben Simmons, take it or leave it. He has more years left on his contract. You can grow a team around him. But what do I know? All these talking heads on ESPN, I'm sorry, but he's not going to the Nets. I'll eat crow when he does go to the Nets, but I don't see it happening. The other option Houston can do is wait it out. Hopefully maybe a second-year player or first-year or a rookie starts balling out the way SGA balled out and the Clippers used him to trade for Paul George. You just gotta wait it out if you're the Houston Rockets. See if another deal pops up, another better deal. Because that Nets offer is nothing. It's crazy. It's asinine. You really think the Houston Rockets front office is going to accept that deal? They weren't born yesterday, man. I get it. Daryl Morey's not there, but come on, folks. Alright. I'm going to sign out. Thanks for watching this video. My first video. Hopefully you guys like it. You know what? Just subscribe and do whatever you want. But thanks for listening, guys.